The views expressed in the interviews and commentary are solely those of the individuals providing them and do not reflect the opinions of PPS Holdings Trust, its affiliates, subsidiaries, or employees.
I am Zandi. Definitely yes.
Hi, I'm Hamilton, and just like Zandi, definitely yes.
Hi, I'm Unalinda. I'm neutral to it.
And hi, I'm Tsebo. Not sure. I am not sure.
Hi there, I'm Ernest, and in today's economy, I'll definitely agree with that. Yes.
Okay, hi, as Phantom. The question was, does employability make you more attractive? And my answer is no. No, employability does not make you more attractive. And I'll start first with why I'm saying dirt. Right? Can I start the conversation?
That's all we're listening.
Yeah.
We're all here.
You're ready?
We are all
Okay. The reason I'm saying that, it's because in a relationship, there's more. There are things that are more important to me than whether or not a person is employable. And also, I can back myself that I'm highly innovative and highly employable, and I can take care of me and my baby, my child. And not necessarily take care of a man, but I can take care of me. The men must need it, but I can take care of me, right? And for as long as a person has those qualities that are kindness and leadership and all the other things that are very important to me that rank higher, that means it'll be more important. Why are you looking at me like that?
We're listening.
Listening.
Like the eyes from this direction. So it's very, for me, it's important, but it's not, doesn't make a person more attractive if they're employable. Let's start with Lenny.
But I said I'm neutral to it. I'll stick to being neutral still. One is yes. And I'll take it an approach of as a male figure. Sometimes we get into that positions that we get easily depressed. I could say that. Men, we get easily depressed. And if I'm not employed and seeing that my woman is doing all these things, I get insecure. And a lot of things could happen. And in the terms of no, it's because we live in an age that is continuously growing on things. And every day we're innovative about something else. It builds out that resilience within you to say, no, man, I can't get a job for what I studied for. But I know from those things, 3 or 4 things, I can start a small business with it. I mean, I can sell magwenya there at the corner. From that, because I don't have pride on it, I'm going to make something from it and be able to also say, I brought something home. Because at the end of the day, it's just as a male figure, it's just to get home with just one plastic bag to say, hey, it was a good day. And at least pay one bill. And then, as we usually say it, gazam. And you try it out. So,
and employability doesn't mean not lack of enterprise. It doesn't mean you can't sell magwenya or you can't sell sneakers or you can't try something.
You need to hustle somewhere, somehow. So I guess we went from the neutral to the I don't know. And the primary reason why I say I don't know, and I really have to think about this. So let's pause for a second.
Okay, cool.
I can go.
No. The reason why I say I don't know, honestly, it goes back to that question, the last part that you're saying, because it's all about hustling at the end of the day. And the reason why I don't know is because I've actually been in a situation where I was unemployed. And no matter how, because I was in a job, a 9 to 5, I was working, I got paid at the end of the month, there was a cycle. And the moment where I said, okay, I'm done with this, I want to be self-employed. Self-employment is a totally different game. And once you get in there, you can consider yourself unemployed because it's about what you can bring at the end of the day. Whether you can go out with 20 buckets of biscuits or whatever, and then come back with the whole 20 and not sell anything. And then it's like, what did I do? At the end of the day, you're putting effort. For me, the reason why I say, and it goes back to the question that employability, it's the ability to hustle. I think that for me is how I look at it. So if I don't have to be in a 9 to 5, but if I can at least dust myself up, and then when you leave the house, I don't just stay there and I'm like, "Eh, what am I watching today? What am I binging? You know, you need to leave the house and go show. And that for me is the most important thing, the ability to go out and come back with something. And maybe that's why I'm neutral about it.
Yo, you're making some of us who said yes definitely look.
No,
No, because no, but the you know you talk a lot on like on the humanness of us as people, because that's also, and we actually had the debate of really like, you know, the employability versus the actual fact that like you're dealing with a system that restricts you from getting employment. You went to school, you did all the right things, in fact, and now you're actually struggling because the system doesn't really support you the way you would have
100.
expected it to. With my definitely yes, I think it's I mean, it's the time we're living in. It's nice to have someone who can also show up. I think again also as a guy, it helps a lot. I've me personally, I've kind of removed myself from the traditional role of the guy, and have it be understood that, like, you know what, if I'm bringing something forward, you should also bring something forward, because I won't always have the capacity. You know, I could also lose my income. I could actually also lose my income. And if I've been doing the carrying, for example, and it gets to a point where that has become an expectation, what happens if there's a shift, which is an actual reality?
100.
What happens if there's a shift? And, you know, what happens if you respond to me differently? You know?
That is so critical. I actually spoke to a guy and I asked him something similar to that. And he said for him, it matters because well, first you need to be empowered.
Yes.
Right. So his concern is if something should happen to him, will this person be able to carry the family? Right. So it's a big consideration as well when you are doing family planning. Because obviously you meet someone, you want to start a family at some point, and that's why I said yes, because you also want to say perhaps your current employment status is unemployed, but should the need arise, right, then you can definitely do something about it, right? So my hard yes was for that, and also because you said more attractive. So you can be attractive, but it just makes you more attractive.
Bonus.
Because remember, okay, we do the choosing. So if you have 5 suitors,
These days
they
you don't do the
all
choosing.
attract.
How do we do
I'm traditional in a sense. So
I feel
yeah, so I'll be like, okay, you are all attractive, but this one is more attractive based on his resourcefulness, right? And also I wanted to bring it back to myself because my answer was based on my values, right? So I am aligning everything to myself. So I'm saying to myself, okay, would I date myself even if I was unemployed?
That's a good question.
Would I, look at myself? Would I date myself, basically?
Put
where
yourself
I am?
in another person's
And
shoes.
I mean, I'm in an industry where, our income is irregular, right? So, and it just kills your vibe, it kills your mood, mental health, you should be going. So, and then I looked at myself like, would I want to be with me when I'm in that space? No. Am I attractive when I'm in that space? No. When am I most attractive? When I'm like, balling, as Dumi said, yeah, I got my own back. So when I step forward, right, my energy is also different, right? So I think it's definitely more attractive. And I think also, sure, to your point, as women, if we're doing away with the traditional roles, men and women, I think I mentioned somewhere that that's why I don't believe in 50-50. Go all the way as far as you can go. And then have the other person reciprocate and come as well, right? But if I can't hustle, like, how am I gonna show up for you in that sense? You know what I mean?
50-50.
What is
I'm
that?
trying to get the 50-50 part.
Yeah.
100.
What do you mean when you say 50-50?
Yeah, people always ask this thing, do you believe in 50-50? Like, you pay half of, okay, if you're living in a house, you pay half of the expenses, I pay half of the expenses. And I said, no,
I don't.
You need to sit down and look at, okay, what are the things that I can handle? I think some of us, we are more is it predisposed to handle certain kinds of responsibilities, I'd say. And also it's a conversation that you can have together, right? But not 50-50. Like if you're paying a bond and our bond is like 30K, for example, you're like, okay, I do half, you do half. No. You're like, if you can carry
The bond.
those
Then
big
you
responsibilities,
take
go all the way, right? In the same way as, this topic, the mental load, right? There's a mental load that you carry because of the responsibilities of actually running a household.
Yeah.
So my belief is because we've been socially engineered to do it as women, like young girls, we just naturally know how to carry it, right?
Okay.
So like you're worrying about, oh, I know I saw your socks. There's a hole in one of the socks. It needs to be replaced. I saw that there's a Tupperware missing somewhere or a curtain somewhere. It's part of the mental load of like taking care of all the responsibility in the house.
Like a
So are we
household.
saying we must go 50-50 on that?
Like,
Not necessarily.
I have a question about that, just based on what you're saying.
Yeah.
Is it emasculating for a man when a woman says, actually, you're here for vibes, not because I can't live without you? Is that emasculating?
Or it's like you're like, I don't need you. I just think you'd
Right.
be nicely slotted into my life.
Like, and at any time you can eject. Sure.
No, I think that's amazing, personally. I think that's amazing. It takes I mean, like, if there's no need for you, then that means that there isn't. you
Tepo
haven't
has
been
big
put in a-
feelings.
No, I know.
Tepo and E has big
Then there's no,
feelings.
there's no
Take a
question.
May I take it before you guys?
Like, no, let's also go. But I just want to go back to that before, because it links up to your question as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
In terms of what you were
Yeah.
saying as well, in terms of you feel good when you are, when and would you date yourself when you're at your lows? But that's what a relationship is. Dips and highs and lows.
Yeah.
So you have to maintain that. So
Thank
the question is,
you.
how long is the low? And if
Ooh.
you're not pulling your weight in the lows, because
Yeah.
even in the
That
lows,
is lovely.
you have to be together and show up. It's not always about whether or not, because we live in a two income household in terms of the current economy that we're living in. Honestly,
Yeah.
like I wish somebody can just say, "Sharp, I'm a professional. I'm making this much," but you end up where your salary is, that's where your lifestyle is most of the time. So that second income sort of balances it out. That's what pays for the holidays. That's what does everything else. So when somebody comes back and says to you that I can do this out you, okay, go try. Like, not in a bad way. I'm not saying that to you, baby. Yeah, like as you look at the camera. I didn't say that to the camera. But in all honesty, if somebody says that to you, it's not even about. It's about them then thinking that they are better off alone, because we are not just there to maintain the expenses and everything else.
Yeah.
Once you put kids into the picture,
Yeah.
it's about the emotional part of it. Having a father there, having a mother there. It's about when you cook, who cleans up. There's some form of teamwork there. So if you can do it alone, ask somebody who's done it alone. I'm telling you 100%. If they do it for more than a year or two, they'll tell you, I'm tired of doing this alone.
True. And then,
I'm tired.
to add a bit onto yours, most probably might be a question as well to come to it. I might as well say Happy Valentine to mine as well.
Nice.
I love, yes. one of the sayings that we usually get, especially in commonality right now, is that as an entrepreneur, anybody who dates an entrepreneur or is in a relationship with an entrepreneur, they should not just have medical aid. They should have even gap cover.
Yeah.
In short, they should have the whole thing,
Professional
because
indemnity.
today it's high with the extraordinary income. It's there. You put it out there. And then after 3 days, invoices are blocked. You're not getting paid. A full year goes without you getting paid. Somebody needs to cover that. Now your woman is a housewife, or she's not to mention any profession, but she's in another profession.
Yeah.
And you understand that you were carrying, like you were saying,
Yeah.
we're carrying the whole expenses. You were carrying all the expenses. How do we cover all these expenses again?
Now.
And it's a very depressing state as well, that you find yourself going down. So that's why I was asking, what do you mean 50-50? Because some of us, we only know it's 100%.
Yeah.
You go 100%, she also goes 100%. We balance one another. If you're down, I need to be the one pushing out. If I'm down, you push out as well. Yo, I need
Wait,
to
why
be.
are you sitting there so quietly?
He's about to end. He's about to end. I know, I can see the. We look at each other like, okay, you first.
Time now.
No, I'm just gonna come back to the prompt, right? The need and want of sort of thing, right? And my thing, or how I live my life at the end of the day, the principle that I follow is first distinguish needs and wants, right? A want is something that I can choose, that I want, that I like, etc. It's a desire, right? Whereas a need is something that I can't go without. However, for example, if I'm drinking water, I'm thirsty, I'm going to go drink some water. But if I quench my thirst thereafter, is there still a need for water?
Basic EMS.
Right? Now,
Diminishing marginal utility.
Hello, Nana.
but bringing that analogy down to my life is, I don't want to be dependent on my wife, and I don't want my wife to be solely dependent on me, because once I satisfy that need or that dependence, why am I still there? So coming back to actually wanting somebody, having a desire to be with somebody, that is actually what's going to carry you through, because I'm not with you because I must be with you. I'm with you because I want to be with you.
It's a choice.
That's where it comes down to.
100.
You know, like for me, and I know that initially I had the agreement with Zandi. I know. But no, I'm betraying you. I'm sorry. No, I'm joking. But you know, Tsepo, your example was really beautifully put, because I think, I know for me, I was actually thinking, as you were talking, I was thinking about it a lot more short-term wise. It's almost as if I was thinking about it right now in my current life. And I mean, the interesting thing is, when you're talking about kids and you're talking about their meant to be lows, I mean, how is it difficult for me to understand that if I'm with someone, they're more attractive based on their current situation. But for example, if I'm, which is a big trend now, is like, if you're investing your money somewhere, you understand that if you could be on your high now and you could be on your lows the following year. And it doesn't mean that you pull out just because it's low the next year.
Yeah.
You actually have to sit and wait and trust and see what you need to do to show up to make sure that it also gets to the best position. And so I really enjoy the fact that this conversation is actually giving me a really strong.
Love is patient.
Yeah, love is kind.
Wait. In light of what you've just said,
Yeah.
in the previous conversation, we were talking about how a person physically is more important than if they're financially delinquent, right? And most of you said, please, yes, it's important. That part is important, right? But that also has diminishing what did you call
Marginal utility.
Diminishing marginal utility
Yeah.
over time. And how a person looks when they are in a particular context is different from how they will look in a different context.
Yeah.
So how does that play into what we're talking about now, that says current investment versus long-term
Future growth.
investment? What is that?
I feel like it's character.
It's your drive.
Yeah, it's character. I guess it also goes beyond compatibility on maybe the more materialistic things. Maybe it's a lot more in terms of character. So, you guys made the great point of saying, like, when you're talking about someone who is an entrepreneur, and someone who hustles, that's drive. That's important character, because, I like the whole analogy of how, if you had to put like a cheetah underwater, it wouldn't win against a fish, but put it on land, it's going to speed through. And sometimes it's just about where an individual is placed. Sometimes it's luck. Sometimes it's the right timing. And when that and when everything aligns, that movement just moves forward.
Then?
I am actually agreeing.
No, you're sticking to your original answer then.
I thought I was
it's
changing.
more important. Yeah, it's more important for what makes you more attractive then? Or are you saying no now?
No. I'm saying the it does still make you more attractive, but it's not the only thing that matters. And in the instance of looking at it a lot more long term, I mean, like, there's so many things that we do that are actually more long term, but it doesn't necessarily mean that this is the best time to do it. I mean, people could be using their last money to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to get funeral cover because my parents are old. Some people say, hey, you know what, I'm going to invest this little money. All it means is that I have to go to noodles for the next few months.
Yep.
Because, you know, now I'm actually looking at it a lot more long term. And I'm like, it does still matter, but that long term perspective is, I believe I actually lost sight of that. And by hearing you guys, it actually came back to me.
And on that also, like, I'm actually also thinking about my first answer about employability, etc. My thing is also, okay, great. Employability is great. But like you said, some people isn't skilled at that. However, they can be successful elsewhere, and they can be very successful elsewhere without that, you know, the normal traditional university, etc., etc., etc. It's just whether or not you have that drive, and if you have that drive, that motivation to become successful and to make something out of your life. I think that is most attractive. That's the thing that's gonna.
But then that is what makes someone employable. So if we look at what makes you employable, it's all the things you mentioned. You must have some self-esteem, confidence. You must have, even if it's not like technical skills, you must have some skills, whether it's communication, people skills, relationals, whatever. So that's what I'm saying, that the person who checks off as employable, right? What makes them attractive is because they have all of those attributes.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? And those attributes, even if they're not necessarily currently employing them right now, they have them.
You invest in that, in the future potential of somebody.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what makes you attractive, because it's not about the now. I agree. It's about, okay, should the need arise? So if I decide, okay, I'm a housewife, my employment status currently, I'm a home executive.
That's the word.
Right? Home executive. But I have something, whether it's, like I said, even how you look, because you can use that as well, right? You can be an influencer, you can model, you can do all kinds of things. I have it. That makes you more attractive, not that you're using it right now.
Can I ask a question? I think I made the mistake, actually. I should have first asked, what makes a person employable? Ne? And I wanna parallel that with what makes a person marryable or tolerable or dateable. What's the word?
Potential.
You've been using words.
I want to and I'll tell you why I'm drawing the parallel. I think it's because it's subjective, right?
Exactly.
But there are those things that are standard things that are things that will make you employable. So I want to go around the room now. I want you to give me 3 things that you would define as things that make a person employable, and 3 things that you would define, anything that makes a person attractive. Let's start with E.
Yo, me. Okay, so I hear you, right? What makes you employable, right? And if you go in, guys, get on LinkedIn. Yo, the whole ad is there. It tells you need to have so much experience. It tells you need this qualification. It tells you need this stuff. I'm joking. But coming down to me is, what makes you employable is the fact that you're goal driven, because that's what it sums down to. Is the mere fact that if I put my mind to something, I'm going to achieve it. And that principle you can basically put in your work, you can put it into relationship, wherever you're going to be. So being goal driven, I think being goal driven is 3 words.
Okay, I'll let you get away with that. Okay.
Oh, that's a beautiful one.
I'm going to use a synonym for that. No. It's ambition. Like, I think most of the time, and on LinkedIn as well. Well, I read sort of like a post that said that you can teach people skills. It's how they fit into the culture of the organization. So even in a relationship, you can be taught certain things. Even in work, you can be taught certain things. So it's the ambition. Me as an example, I like using myself as an example. And I know that this is what I get crapped on most of the time. Whenever I feel a slump coming and I'm like, I can't do this, or I demoting, the depression sets in and everything else. You need somebody that will remind you, this is not the person I married, or you're very smart, you've got that ambition. So ambition is key in everything you do. what we change.
Flock
Like there's phrases in your life. Like I realized I was doing this the other day when I wanted to see what the next 10 years holds for me, because I'm reaching that age where life begins now.
Yes.
I can't barrier.
Uh-huh.
So now I don't know if it's life begins or it's a midlife crisis. So I might get a bike.
Let's go with
And,
life
you know,
begins.
yeah,
Life
you know, I might get a
begins.
bike and
Sounds
get
Shave your
maybe
head.
settlement somewhere. No, people might. Yeah, no, but there's phases in one's life, and I was looking at mine at 10-year cycles, and I haven't been the same person over those 10 years.
Wow.
I've had different hobbies, but the one thing that has been consistent in everything, whether I was not employed with, is my ambition and my willingness to always go do more. So that drive for me is, if I sit across you in an interview and I'll ask you questions about have you done this, have you done that, but I need to feel that ambition, that I want to do more. Like that question, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Be arrogant. I see myself sitting in your seat, interviewing the next person that's going to come, things like that. You have to have that outright drive to say that I want to be more and do more. For me, if you give me that in anything, whether it's a relationship, me and you, for life, friends, even friendships.
I think Seppo should never sit next to me, eh?
Why? Why?
There's a quote. I think there's a quote about what you said.
Mm.
It's in my bio. It says, "Nothing can circumvent the firm resolve of a determined soul."
You will make it through.
I like
that.
that. Lenny, why can't you sit next to Teppo?
Well, for some of the things, I think we've been
Like,
no,
no,
it's we've been seeing
You
it
are
from
wise.
sides.
You are not together.
But I'd say to support that, for me, what makes you employable? I usually say to people that my CV speaks of my past, but my resilience, it speaks of where I'm going. So it comes with that ambition. Say, do I have the ambition to it? I can have a degree in accounting and I go and become a graphic designer.
Yeah.
It is not because I studied that. I just free flowed into changing a skill, which sometimes people are afraid to change skills. We end up going, I want to continue with this because this will do. And a career is not linear. And similar to relationships, we learn through our relationships. If you're resilient, you find there are days where you are down. And you need that nurturing. I mean, some guys would say to you, I was raised by a single parent, and the only thing I know is that my parent would come to me and say, why are you down? Get up. Just that voice.
Yeah.
Get up.
Yeah.
Get up, buddy.
My mom
get
would
up.
say, "Fridge e tletse. Ho na le dijo ka ntlong. Ho na le metsi. O kwatetseng. Fridge e tletse."
Translation.
Like dishes.
Translation.
Why are you upset? They're dishes. Go wash the dishes. And like in late now, when I think about it, she wasn't saying go wash the dishes. She's saying the way you deal with depression or big emotions is you can either distract yourself or find something that you enjoy. But I don't think she had the vocabulary to say that. So she'd be like,
True.
I'm giving you everything that you need. Be happy. So
Funny you're using dishes as an example. A priest once said to me that the best part to learn how to shift from something is through washing dishes. Take your life as those dishes. You're eating a burger right now. You mess up a plate. You're going to go into the sink, wash it out. That's you restarting. Don't be afraid to start over. That's you restarting. You get back into the same cupboard where new ones, society ones, it's for stock fair.
It's fine,
Do not touch.
Christmas.
You go in the same cupboard. You're still going to have the same food served on the two plates differently, but this one has experience. This one doesn't have experience. So it's more of, like I said, resilience in everything. Relationship, work, entrepreneurship, everything.
Okay.
Be a plate.
So
I
guys,
love that.
And
been quiet. Do you have something you want to say?
I feel like, so the three things that make you employable, no?
Yes.
So that's what we
And
started.
things
And three things.
Paralleled with three things that make you attractive. For
Do you want to go
dating.
first, Andy, or should I? Should we end it off with you as the first lady of the panel?
I think can you both go?
Okay,
So
let's go.
Resilience.
Let's go.
Tata.
Okay, so you said resilience?
Yeah, I said resilience.
no, he said
He said
resilience.
resilience, ambition, be goal driven.
Oh, that's
be
very
goal
different.
driven,
Yeah.
No, it
resilient,
doesn't have to be different.
ambitious.
No, it does. Yeah, that's why I just said it because that's what he said in another way.
In another
Yeah,
way.
I just used another word.
I'd say the one that like the main one I have. I feel like you guys have basically touched on ones I would have as well for employability. But the one I'd have is a balance of pride and no pride.
Ooh.
And the reason I say that is it goes back to what you say is that a career is not linear. Sometimes for you to get to where you have to or you want to get to, you have to take a path that isn't necessarily one that you wanted to take. You know, just to start out. Maybe you've been in a more senior position. Maybe, you know, you got laid off and now for you to get to maybe another organization, you need to start in a more junior position or in another department. Or if you pivot and you go back to school, you again have to start from the bottom. And I think that balance of pride and no pride, enough pride to have that integrity of who you are, but being able to let go of the pride to say, if I need to start at the bottom, I'll start at the bottom because this is where I want to get to.
Preach, brother, preach.
And I think, and that's the same thing I take for attractiveness as well. Very important. Because even in a romantic relationship, it's having enough pride to say, listen, you can't disrespect me, but also, you know, being able to come down enough to say, you know what, you're wrong or you're right. And I think that's very important. Yeah.
Damn.
Hamilton, you and me. Because kill the ego.
Yeah.
Yeah, in both.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Employability and in relationships, the ego. On that note, I'm going to pivot into podcasting.
Good.
Plug it.
There we go. I would say consistency.
Yeah.
Consistency doesn't require even talent. Do the same thing, what you need to do all the time. In relationships, it's the same, right? The person who's consistent, very attractive, right? And then in relationships, your kindness.
In life.
Oh my
Kindness
gosh.
makes you a very
10 out of
attractive
10.
person.
Minus nothing.
Yeah, kindness. Because that goes with gratitude as well and all those other things. But yeah, just be kind. Like a lot of the issues and, you know, the drama we have could just be avoided by just being with kind people and choosing to be kind. You know? Yeah.
Andy.
Sure, guys, I've never wanted to be part of a panel more than I want to be a part of this panel. So dope. Such dope insights. Thank you so much. Let me ask, did we cover everything?
100%.
We covered everything.
I think we did.
We definitely
We all
Covered everything.
Yo.
Happy.
cover.
Wait. You greeted your wife. Your wife?
Oh!
I didn't want to say Happy Valentine's, love. No,
Oh, boy.
now we covered everything.
Now we covered it. Oh, boy. Nice one.
Now we covered.